You're listening to episode 65 of Fresh Floppies. Not going to make a joke in this intro.
My condolences.
Not going to make a joke.
Too late.
I mean, condolences.
You said you wouldn't make a joke.
Condolences aren't funny.
You aren't my daddy.
Wait, who's the joke?
Me. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently listening to Fresh Floppies, a show wherein Noel and I, JD, Fresh Thwippies?
Thwippies. Oh.
We're here to talk about spoiler-free reviews of the books that are coming out today. New Comic Book Day, Wednesday, the 27th.
27th.
And we're going to get a start off with Ava, number one.
Well, okay. I feel like we didn't like a properly intro. Hey, what's a floppy?
Oh, it's a comic book. Dork.
What does a comic book do?
It tells you a sequential story using.
I'm here to derail.
Hopefully, perfect meshing of art and word.
Also, sorry for being away last week. Deal with it.
We got so many emails being like, "Is he okay? Are you dead?" And I said, he's not okay.
I was at the beach sweating. But there's two books that came out last week that everyone has been talking about, and we're going to give 5-word reviews.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We didn't prep you for this at all.
No.
Ultimate Spider-Man number 7? Was it 7 or 8?
Sure.
One of them.
Ultimate Spider-Man over 5.
Last week.
Yeah.
5-word review. Marco Cicchetto is back, baby.
Oh. Not as good as amazing. I'm going to get a lot of shit for that.
Probably. Wolverine Revenge.
Oh, okay. Didn't need to be wrapped.
Oh, you can say polybagged.
Polybagged.
Didn't need to be polybagged.
Yeah.
Stupid, but fun. Yeah, baby.
I guess it was fine. Yeah, I was really excited for some Hickman and Jason Aaron
Capullo.
And Capullo, right?
No, it's Hickman and Capullo. Yeah.
Oh, that's even more disappointing.
I liked it. It was
It's fine.
I liked it, but it segues into our first book, which is Avengers versus Aliens, or Aliens versus Avengers.
Aliens versus Avengers from John Hickman and Asad Rabish and Svorkina. Listen, baby. I have been on an alien tip for the past week.
Xenozaddies.
Xenozaddies be eaten. I went and got a popcorn bucket, which is the big xenomorph head, which is no convenient way to eat popcorn out of. I got the Alien board game.
It's like maybe
The Fate of the Nostromo.
Maybe 10 ounces of popcorn goes in that.
3 kernels. Or just a bunch of the what are they? I guess kernels, right? The things you can't eat.
Yeah.
Unless you've got
kernels.
Steel teeth like an alien. The Alien board game, I went and saw Alien Romulus, and then I came home and immediately watched Alien... the last one.
Covenant. I feel like a xenomorph eats popcorn with just the tongue, kernel at a time.
Yeah,
like pop at a time.
That's how I do that every time when I'm walking to the theater and I've got my hand I've got the
you
soda,
tongue it.
I've got the big bucket. I just go
tongue it. Yeah, absolutely.
Just grab it. Yeah.
That's what it's made for.
Anywho, I've been really enjoying a lot of Alien stuff, and so I was like, what a perfect time for Aliens versus Avengers from Hickman and Rabish. Come on, baby.
It's as if they planned it.
And this was very good.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to spoil it. Is it a spoiler to say that the thing that I said before we went on?
I don't think so. This isn't current continuity.
It's not in current continuity. Right. I don't think that's that big of a spoiler.
No, it's not a spoiler at all. Honestly, too, like, just looking at the cover, I don't even think it's the makeup of the current Avengers. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like it's an Elseworlds book. Mm-hmm. Is there a word for that in Marvel?
What ifs? No.
No,
That's it.
What if it's like a specific thing? Yeah, it's just a out of continuity story.
Yeah.
About the xenomorphs.
And at first I was a little disappointed, but you make an excellent point.
Yeah, my it's a little disappointing at first, being like, oh, this isn't current continuity, but that means that they could lay waste to characters.
They can ham up.
Things can actually happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah, and things do happen in this issue.
A lot of things happen in this issue.
There's a lot of setup. which is all very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, all great setup, and then kind of a downer in at the end there, which I was
Yeah,
like,
this is not a feel good book, but it's a really good book. It was nothing what I expected. Like the setup and everything is, I wasn't expecting that at all. It's it's a lot more thoughtful than just like aliens show up.
Yep.
And I should have expected that from Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though
this was fresh AF for me.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Also, what's the page count? It's a thick book.
That's a thickie.
It's a thick comic.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot about this bit. This bit was awesome. I'm sorry, the very, very end. I forgot about that.
Genuine surprise.
Yes.
Like,
awesome.
Yeah, there's I like the idea that we basically have given Hickman, hey, do whatever you want. Continuity doesn't matter. And he genuinely does some surprising and fun things.
Yeah.
Like, I like that he is not, he seems to be respectful, but he doesn't seem slavishly so. True. And I like that a lot. Yeah.
You know, I was having this trouble I had with Beast World, the big DC event for the Titans last year, where, oh no, all of these Starros are entering everyone's mouths. Why is no one wearing mouth guards? Something to prevent a Starro from going in your mouth. And I had the same problem here until I remembered in the first Alien, was it John Hurt? He's wearing a full-ass...
it gets in.
A full-ass helmet, and it still gets right through there.
We have characters who are wearing masks, and it gets through.
Yeah.
I mean, half of their physiology is acid, so it's not super... But yeah, this is a stronger book than any IP-driven cash grab needs to be.
Yep.
Yeah, and I liked it a lot.
All right, Frankenstein, Universal Monsters Frankenstein by Michael Walsh and Tony Marie Griffin, issue 1.
IP-driven cash grab.
Speaking of which, Image, Skybound, blah, blah, blah. I did not read... They've been doing the gamut, right? So they did Dracula, and they did
I love you
the
too
creature
much to condemn you.
the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Read the first issue of that, loved it. Forgot to catch up. And now, Frankenstein, issue 1, loved it.
Yeah.
Will I forget to catch up? I don't know.
It's written and drawn by Michael Walsh. Do you know who
don't
Michael
know.
Walsh is? No.
No.
There's definitely like some Francavilla in here with better coloring.
For sure. I say Francavilla. I see some David Aja. I see some Mike Mignola.
Yeah. There's definitely passion in this book. Also, this is one of the there doesn't seem to be rules with these Universal Monster books, which is great.
Yes.
So like the Dracula by Martin Simmons and James Tynion, the fourth of 5, was just a straight up retelling.
I didn't read it, but I was talking to Dane.
Was it not a straight up retelling?
Fan of the show, Dane, friend of the show, and he was saying that it definitely focuses more on Renfield.
But it's still the same.
Yeah.
It's just...
I hear it's the same thing.
Okay.
Well, I guess similarly to this.
Maybe this, yeah. But then Creature from the Black Lagoon was a sequel to the original movie. And this seems to be both.
Yeah.
So the events of the entire original movie happen in this book.
Through someone else's
eyes.
Perspective.
And then we get like a cliffhanger of like what's going to happen next. Yeah. So this seems to be like both.
Yeah.
We get a different point of view for the events of the film, and now... it's all new territory, which I think is really, really fun.
This is so cool.
It's really well done. Yeah, really well done.
The point of view and the reason the point of view is there that we're not used to.
So cool.
I was like, I'm in.
I like also too. There's when it's a writer artist, sometimes it's mildly imbalanced in regards to they won't fill in dialogue or exposition because it'll be on the page, or vice versa. It'll be over expository.
Yeah.
This is like
a perfect melding. I don't know Michael Walsh, but he killed it.
Yeah.
And then resurrected it. Fresh AF?
Fresh AF, yeah.
That's
so far, 2 out of 2.
All right, now here comes the part of the show that everyone on the internet will hate.
Love.
Amazing Spider-Man number 56.
950.
No, 956.
965.
Who's this by? Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. and Scott Hanna and Marcio Menez and Joe Caramagna.
There's 2 backups too, both by Zeb Wells with different artists. Yeah.
So, okay. First off, most of these big anniversary Johns will be like, a bunch of backups that are just like, whatever. They've been sitting in a drawer. There's only one of those
called
here.
Drawer stories.
Drawer stories. Only one of them, I think, is a drawer story here, which is delightful. And then the other ones are all written by Zeb Wells.
What is it, the one-pager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was also delightful. The Craven the Hunter,
Yeah.
one-pager by, what is his name? I love that artist so much.
I don't know. It's adorable.
Lee
adorable
Gatlin.
boy. Yeah.
Lee Gatlin is awesome. But yeah, and I've been seeing this page floating around for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know how
Paul,
people get these.
And I was like, where did this
books
even
early.
come from? Everyone who's upset about Paul and who hates Amazing Spider-Man has been sharing around this one page where it's like, oh, Peter just had dinner with Paul and Mary Jane. He's a cuck. Like, I don't think you guys know what that word means.
He's
Being an adult who's hanging out with your ex who's with a new dude, like, that's not what that is.
And like having the emotional maturity to understand that they were married for 3 years and raised 2 kids.
Yeah.
Give it up. Chill out.
This was, I love this book.
Yeah, it was really good. So this, the way that Zeb Wells has structured this long run, which is going to end up being about 60 issues, was really, really interesting. Like, he started with this Tombstone-centric, grounded stuff.
Which was awesome.
Then it diverted to some more, like, supernatural...
Hobby-gobbins?
Well,
I guess Gobby-gobbins.
Yeah, I was going to say there's 3 main
that's true. There was Hobby.
There's 3 main chunks.
Yeah.
It's the goblin of it all, which was the hobgoblin and Green Goblin stuff, which was all wrapped up in between this bookended kind of tombstone-y stuff. And then there was also the Chasm actual goblin demon stuff. We had like 3 larger plots, and the 2 of them have been wrapped up. The only thing that hasn't been wrapped up is what started it, which was the tombstone grounded gang war stuff.
Yes.
And that's what this is.
I was under the impression that the Green Goblin stuff from the last week that wrapped up was supposed to be the end of his run. And then they just sort of were like, well, here, we got to keep writing for a little bit. So, like, he did a new story. That can't be the case.
No,
because this is a book. This is a perfect bookend to the first story. This was great.
Yeah, this was all planned. I love this.
I was delighted to see a return to Tombstone because I remember that guy from the late '80s, early '90s. I missed the brothers Lobo. I wish they would come around again from Web of Spider-Man.
I don't know what that is, but go on.
They're 2 brothers, Mexican brothers who were werewolves, and they would hang around a lot at the same time that Tombstone was big.
Brain just broke. That's awesome.
Awesome, brothers Lobo. Come on, this was wonderful. The Tombstone is a scary dude, and what he does here, I was like, oh no, and then I was like, oh okay,
and then I was like, oh no,
oh no. Yeah, man, this was great.
There's something. So like I want to talk about what I adore about the character of Spider-Man, and you may agree. This character is malleable enough to be equally threatened or in danger from just a crime boss, but also like Thanos.
Yeah.
Like the character itself is malleable to kind of fit in both worlds, and that's what this run has kind of in a microcosm has kind of been. They have gone full tilt weird, afterworld, crazy magic, but then also really, really compelling gang war dynamics and just street level stuff, and it all still fits and feels like Spider-Man, and I really enjoy that a lot. I appreciate that.
There is a sequence in this book that reminds me of a similar sequence in the Daredevil TV show, wherein Matt Murdock is in prison having a conversation with Wilson Fisk, and how that ramps up so quickly, and also in like a terrifying way with Peter and Tombstone.
Yeah, I think it's really great. There's 2 sequences in this book that I was genuinely kind of like, how are you going to get out of this?
Yeah.
And we read so many comics that does not happen often. Yeah. I hope that time judges this run more maturely and intelligently than the internet.
Yeah.
Today.
Than the internet usually allows.
Yeah, then the internet allows, yeah.
It's funny, I loved the first half of Nick Spencer's amazing run. And then I just felt so I have ADHD.
It was bombarded. It was a lot. It was a lot.
If someone if I get a little bit of tickle, it's lovely. If someone does that tickling for too long, I vibrate and I'm like, don't touch me, get off me. That's how I felt Nick Spencer was. Like every time I was reading it, I was like, oh, can we just stop? Can we just move on?
It was written like it was from somebody with ADHD because it was constantly bouncing from concept to concept to concept to concept, and there was no like
resolution.
There was no resolution. There was no wherewithal to sit in a concept for long enough to explore it.
But my point of bringing up Nick Spencer is that I don't think I'm going to look back on that with fondness. Like, I already don't. The first half, the same thing with JMS. The JMS run starts off so strong. And then by the end of it, I'm like, I hate this. Get me out of here. I'm not having this trouble with Zeb Wells' run. There's peaks and valleys. I think, the gang war stuff was a little meh. But all the Goblin stuff, all the Tombstone stuff, love it.
When I think about Spencer's run, which I have not finished, and maybe someday I will, it was just a bombardment of ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. But I do remember a lot of it fondly. I think of pieces fondly, like it's not a full loss. Like I loved the Craven stuff.
That was good.
Like the culling of the Cravens, and I really, 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 really loved the Black Hat stuff.
Yeah.
All of the assassin or the Thieves Guild stuff and her basically gave her autonomy.
That's what kicked off the Jed MacKay Black Cat run, right?
I think it happened around,
which was awesome.
Yeah. So like I it's a net positive for me, but it was an oppressive book.
Finish it.
Yeah.
You can get back to me.
It was I don't know if I want to. It was an oppressive book. Like Gog.
I miss Gog.
Gog was awesome.
Vengeance for Gog.
But yeah, it took 75 issues to have one larger thread, and I didn't care by the end of it. Like, I didn't read the Sin stuff. I didn't read...
some of the Sin stuff was good. The Sin Eater?
I basically popped out. I pieced out after Hunted.
Yeah, there was some really good stuff in there, but overall, net negative for me.
But this I've enjoyed all the way through.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
We are gonna stay with Spidey.
Chasm.
Spidey Chasm. Chasm, Book of Kaine, Cursed Kaine.
Chasm's Curse of Kaine.
Chasm, Cursed Kaine.
This is by Fox and Briccardo.
Steve Fox, yeah.
My poor man Ben, and my other poor man Kaine. They have been on quite a long journey, and they've basically swapped spots. Yeah. So where Kaine was the baddie, and then Ben Riley was the goodie. Now Ben is the baddie. And they're straight up trying to mug teenagers in the subway, I guess. And Kaine is trying to be the good guy. He's basically the Scarlet Spider.
Are they super bad? I feel like they're
chaotic.
Not
super bad.
They're chaotic neutral. Like, they just want to be, and they don't care who gets in their way.
Yeah.
We need money, so let's mug these kids. We won't hurt them, but we're just like, who cares? Like, it's like chaotic.
We'll take their credit cards. We'll max out all their credit cards because they're rich.
Their daddy's credit cards.
Their daddy's rich. Yeah. I wanted to love this more than I did. I was excited for a Ben Riley and Kaine series, even if it's a mini. He's had so many different...
Which he?
Both. They've both had different series, and I've read all of them, and they've all got peaks and valleys, but none of them have been just stellar. Like, there's never been a Ben Riley or a Kaine series where I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But this is more of that. This is more like, I like these characters. I like spending time with them. Mm-hmm. They're not getting their devil's due, but it's fine enough.
Positives. Kaine's costume's the best. I absolutely adore that Scarlet Spider
The red and black Scarlet Spider?
Yeah, love it. I love the red fingers, I love it. Love it. What
do you think of Chasm's costume?
It's growing on me.
It is growing on me.
Because it grows on him.
Yeah. Oh!
Hey-oh! It's growing on me. It's fine. It's very much in line with the character. I was a little bored with the first half of this book. Mm-hmm. But then when they do a little twisty reveal of the antagonist, it was quite a surprise to me.
I did not know who that... I thought that was someone else at first.
Yeah.
I thought it was, I don't know, Molecule Man?
Similar
costume, right?
A little bit.
The green and the purple?
A little bit. But no, it's more in line. But it's in line with where Ben was left and what he struggles with.
Yes.
So it's very well done. And I do like the concept of fallen brother having to kind of help the other one that's currently falling.
Yeah.
It's fresh enough. It's not bad, but it's like so deep in the weeds of these characters.
Yeah.
And if you already like them, go for it.
Yeah.
If you're like, I've never read any of these guys before. Is this the one? Like,
as someone who just wants a Chasm action figure,
you go for it.
And a Hallows Eve, like I like them as a couple.
Oh, yeah,
I like them a lot as a couple. So really, the story around them is fine, but like I just enjoy spending time with them as a couple.
Normally, I don't always notice the editor notes.
Yeah.
For this book, there's like, I don't know, 20 of them in like 2 sequences of like scene in Web of Spider-Man 2024, scene in Amazing Spider-Man 899, scene in, like
I miss those actually. I love those.
So they're not wildly necessary because the context of the book, you kind of know what's going on. But for some reason, they spoke out to me in this one more so than they normally do.
Yeah.
Because it seemed so in the weeds. Like, I did start to think, like, as somebody who doesn't know these characters well enough, get it? Mm-hmm. Or are we holding too much? I don't know. Yeah. It was, it threw me off a little bit.
I will also say, and I'm sorry, the art was not for me.
It's fine. It's serviceable.
Fine.
I think it's serviceable.
Yeah, it's just above fine.
This is a comic of backup.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll probably still read it.
You're in the bag. Yeah, you're the demographic for this.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm the demographic. What's next?
I want to talk really quickly about Void Rivals. The 12 issue comes out today.
Yeah.
Or this week, today, whatever. I know you dropped off a little bit, or you're behind on this book.
I'm behind.
For a bit.
I didn't drop off. I'm all in for all of the Energon stuff. Mm-hmm. I just haven't. This is the one that I haven't caught up on.
I think you need to catch up on this.
Okay.
Done. It is. It's. I want to give this book its flowers because it is quietly still incredibly strong. It stays creatively new and original while existing in this very member berries space in a way that is really quite strong.
I had a customer yesterday because no one's talking about this book that I know.
I don't know. It's really great.
But I was surprised and delighted yesterday when someone came in, one of my customers, and was like, "This is the best book on the shelves. No, why is no one talking about how good Void Rivals is?" And I was like, "I don't know. I fell off. I caught up. I'm like,
it's really great.
I stopped with issue 6.
The opening conflict of Derek and Celila being warring soldiers and not even knowing what each other look like to now,
and what they look like is a secret.
That's what I mean. Like,
from the higher ups.
That is all starting to be illuminated, and new things are opening up into how and why and their connection to Energon itself.
Oh,
it gets cooler and cooler every layer. This is a really, really strong comic.
People give Robert Kirkman but people give everybody a tough time. Anybody who's good. But I forget how good Kirkman is. I forget that he's written some of my favorite comics.
There's like 2 modes for Kirkman. There's Firepower. Let's talk about Firepower.
I love that book.
I loved the book.
Yeah.
But it was probably the laziest version of Kirkman because he was basically Somni was driving. Yeah. And Kirkman just kind of like ideated with him and then wrote afterwards.
Yeah.
So like it was like more Somni than Kirkman. Oblivion Song.
Oh yeah.
The book was strong, but it was the version of Kirkman that was like, yeah, this could be squashed with a conversation.
Yeah.
All these characters that are like have blood oaths against each other, like they don't.
Yeah,
like it feels fabricated or forced. But then there's the Invincible Kirkman.
Ooh, that's my
who just keeps rolling forward and just new idea, not afraid to close off ideas and grow new ones.
For sure.
That's what this book is.
Nice.
It's so far. I mean, it's not as good as Invincible.
Yeah.
Because that was just a top tier, different
he
kind
peaked.
of. Yeah. But it does it goes along with that vibe of like, I'm not going to keep pulling my punches. I'm just going to keep pushing forward, and it's just really fun.
Awesome.
This book is great.
I'm excited to catch up.
Yeah, I want to. Everyone should be reading Void Rivals. Yeah. The first trade's out, and the second trade comes out soon. Mm-hmm. And what they're due to is they take like a month or 2 break between arcs. So you got time.
Good.
Yeah.
I definitely want to catch up on that. Listen, I'm even behind on Transformers, which is probably my favorite book on the shelves right now.
Oh, you're trash.
I am a garbage human.
You're trash.
Yeah. Is that what do we?
Well,
we do it?
Didn't you read Hello Darkness?
Oh, I did.
Well, talk to me only about the one issue, the one story that we wanted to follow up on.
It's fine. The rest of the issue is fine. Really, I was there for the Becky Cloonan and the Garth Ennis backup. Not the backup. It's the last one. The last story in the book. It's pretty good. It's okay. Most of Hello Darkness 2 issue 2 is fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the curse of anthology books, right? Like,
Yep.
strong in the middle of mid, and it's hard to, like, gauge the whole experience. Everyone has to be so good in order for the whole experience to
Worth
feel
it?
fine.
Yeah.
It's like the margin of error is so much bigger for an anthology book.
I wish that Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan's story was just a graphic novel.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be divvied up like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to, like, eventually read it, but I'm allergic to anthologies.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, oh, you got to read. Like, issue 1, I was like, oh, this is really good. Issue 2, I was like, this is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
Issue 3, I forgot how to read halfway through. Yeah. Let's close out with a book that we both really enjoy.
Okay.
It's called Grommets by Rick
Grommets.
Remender, Brian Posehn, and Brett Parson.
Book is awesome.
Issue 2, I felt a little way about it. I was like, hey, enough with the cultural references. Let's just enjoy ourselves. Issue 3, strong, very strong. But I also was like, hey, what's the conflict of this book? Issue 4 just perfect.
Amps it up.
Amps it up in a really realistic way where the stakes are still lowish, but they're incredibly high for a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Loved it.
I love this book.
Yep.
The way that the character of Rick kind of reacts to not only his best friend, Brian, but just dealing with that in his house, it was awesome. This book is just so strong.
There is a sequence where I'm going to embarrass myself. There is a sequence here where I don't know which one's which. Is it Brian? Who's the guy with the long hair?
Rick is the blonde.
Okay, and then Brian is the guy with the long hair.
With the braces. Yeah, Brian's braces.
Oh, I just flipping through it. That conversation with his dad. Oof.
Yeah.
But then it cuts to he's putting on a Scorpions album, Blackout, and he's listening to a very specific song. He is singing the lyrics, and he is air guitaring in his own living room. While smoking the devil's lettuce, quote unquote. And so as soon as I saw he was pulling out this Scorpions album, I went, I don't know the Scorpions. Let me go to my Tidal app, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, basically Spotify, except it gives the artist more money. And I put on this record, this specific song, and I broke out the devil's lettuce.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I was listening to the music he was listening to.
You are so susceptible.
Smoking the devil's lettuce.
You're a demographic of your
this.
own. Yeah, like, I'm going to write a story that just influences you to do something I want you to.
Live your best life.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I got to get better.
I guess I have to go be a more mature and stronger and everything. Yeah, great.
And then the conversation that they have when his friend comes over, he just wants to have a meaningful conversation about what's going on in his life and what's bothering him, and he has not met with the reception he needs from his friend. And it's these two kids just trying to deal with their own shit in their own lives, and then coming to, not blows, but like not being there quite for each other in the way they need to be because they're not emotionally mature enough to go, oh, you know what? You go ahead. And then I'm going to give you my stuff. Perfect. And then what happens at the end, the party that just,
This is the opposite of
book.
what I just complained about in regards to like some of, I think, Kirkman's worst habits of like your entire story can be resolved if two people spend time in a room together. This same, but we've already established the emotional maturity and place for these two characters where we know that that's not really possible. Yeah. So it works. Yeah. This is a great book.
I cannot say enough.
Again, Brett Parson is a goddamn
killing it,
mad scientist.
God damn it.
He makes conversations the most dynamic, energetic things, and I just this is Eisner worthy art.
This is I brought this up before with regard to this book, and it was a show that y'all may or may not be aware of or remember called Freaks and Geeks, and it was basically all the comedic actors of now that got their start 25 years ago.
The OG Judd Apatow.
And I was palpably sad that there wasn't a second season. Even though I came to it after it was already canceled, I watched it on Netflix or whatever. I was like, oh, I can't believe there's not going to be another season of this. When issue 7 of this is done, I feel like I'm going to have the same reaction of like, I can't believe this is over. What a bummer.
Man up, you wuss.
No, never. I will never man up.
This
was
man
awesome. Yes.
Yeah, this is a wonderful book, and I think everyone should pick it up.
Yeah.
4 issues in, still strong. The problems I had before were such nitpicks, and they're the kind of nitpicks that are only possible when everything else is working.
Yeah.
And you're like, I mean, that bothered me.
Yeah.
It's minuscule, but it bothered me.
Yeah.
This book is awesome.
Felt that way about Alien Romulus. We'll talk about that after you see.
After
the
I
movie.
finally see it. Yeah.
That's it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
All right.
Read your comics. Enjoy them. Don't be a butthead.
Uh-oh. Never mind. I thought we had an email from St. Saucy, but that was for our live stream where we're talking about Scream, not about the comic books. So never mind. Hi, St. Saucy. Sorry.
Scream about comic books.
Thanks. Wee. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Skoo-doo-doo.
Skidoo-doo.
Bye.
I don't need no radio, no MTV, no BBC. I just need a bubble bath to set me on a higher path.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.